What do we have here? Another SL coming from Virginia. This is not where I said to meet me at, but hey, Facebook time. Alrighty, let's check it out. How you doing, man? Picking the SL up. We got close to the location, a little bit further up, but that's fine. Do a little walk around. How you doing? I'm Brandon Green. Did it come off without scraping the front? Alright, I don't see any damage. Alright, I see the leak there from the ABC. Alright, see it already started catching right here. Alright, cool. Alright. Alrighty. Got the panel. Oh shoot. Alright, I gotta fix that. Alright, I got a little work ahead of me. Alright, so yeah, there's some things that had to be put back together. Apparently, there was an ignition module or a shifter or something like that that was replaced, and the time was not available to put it back together before the shipper arrived. Alright, so I see. Alright, be careful with that. There go that panel here for there, I think. Okay. Alright, so again, we have the ABC right here, of course, and it doesn't have any gas in it. Alright, this is the second one I've had that had the SRS light on. I wonder what that's all about. Alright, so I have to be careful. The ABC is out and the front is low, so it's dragging a little bit. The only curb that I have to worry about is the driveway. But I've dealt with this time and time again. Alrighty. Nice field. The school, elementary school, is right over that hill. So it got dropped off close to home, about a mile, about half a mile from where I stay. So to avoid some traffic, we'll take a little back road to get back to the house. But yeah, ABC is definitely out. It's definitely bumpy. Alright. Let me focus. Let me go ahead and stop this video so I can focus. Oh man. Oh, so when people say, hey, don't get rid of ABC and install coilovers in your car, your ride would be horrible. The car, you're depreciating the car. You're ridding the car of its value, and you're not smarter than Mercedes engineers and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's fine. So when you keep ABC and it fails, this is what happens. Huh? Is this a smooth ride? Huh? You guys see this car bouncing up and down? Huh? Is this the smooth ride you guys are bragging about who keep ABC? That's active body control suspension on your Mercedes? Huh? Is this why we should never go with coilovers? Huh? Come on, guys. Let's be real. When ABC fails, it's a horrible ride. Hey, but when it's working, it's fantastic. But not when it isn't working. It's the worst ride ever. Golly, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. It's all good. It's all good. We know that this is a temporary solution, temporary problem, and I have a long-term solution. Yes, ABC will be getting pulled off of this 2000 and I think it's 2003 SL500. It has failed. I see it leaking in the front driver's side, in front of the wheel. So that's where the valve block is, with a lot of hoses, a lot of connections right there. So I'll narrow down why it's leaking, but oh God, it doesn't matter. It's coming out anyways. How bumpy this ride is. Golly. This is what happens when ABC fails. So, is really ABC the best option for this vehicle? Well, it all depends on what the owner wants. This owner wants reliability. This owner doesn't want to worry about this anymore. failure of the ABC system and a bumpy ride as you damage the front fenders and the front bumper, going over curves. Oh, gosh. What I say, curves, going over curves? I mean, going over bumps. You know what I mean. All right, so I made it to the crib. Well, I'm on the street. It is a very bumpy ride. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, goodness gracious. This is the ABC that everybody brags about. Oh. Gosh. All right, for the time being, let me just pull right here. I gotta move some cars around. Gosh. All right, it's Brandon Green, owner of Gold Element Autoworks, back at it again. You guys know what it is, another coilover job. This is a 2003 Mercedes SL500. This one came out of Virginia. It was towed in, transported in, and the owner is actually gonna fly in to Cincinnati, Ohio and drive it back home. You already know he can't drive it like this. Look how low it is. The ABC, or the active body control suspension, aka hydraulic fluid suspension, has failed like they all do. I don't care how well you take care of these cars, the suspension will fail. It's what it is. That's why a lot of people don't buy these SLs. As beautiful as they are, the suspensions always fail. The ABC suspension is phenomenal when it works, but unfortunately, it will fail. And it's very expensive to maintain if you're paying somebody to do it. Even if you do it yourself, you have to know what you're doing. And not everybody knows what they're doing. They buy these Mercedes to drive, not fix them, you know? But if you're mechanically inclined and you're inclined to learn how Mercedes designs their vehicles, and you don't mind getting dirty and buying the proper tools, you can do it yourself. You can buy these lines and components of the ABC system used off of eBay. Heck, I sell them, you know what I mean? Because I disassemble so many of these suspensions, and the parts that are no good, I get rid of. But the parts that are reusable, I resell. Look at those parts right there. And a whole bunch of parts over here too, right? I have tons of parts. I have parts here. I have parts in storage. I have parts everywhere. Because so many people are bringing me these cars because the suspension is just a headache. It is what it is. So they bring them to me, and I install Silver's Neomax coilovers. And that permanently remedies the situation. You can then drive your car carefree and not worry about failure. Just like any other regular car. No, this is not a regular car. It is a Mercedes at the end of the day. And you want comfort, but you also want reliability. And you gain that with these coilovers. With Silver's Neomax coilovers, they are the dynamic, ultimate coilover experience. And when I say that, what I mean is they're adjustable. The dampening is just right. You can adjust that however you want it, however firm you want it. The spring rate is perfect. The factory default spring rate is perfect. You also have the option to change that spring to a swift spring if you want performance, which is what I did on my SL500. You don't have to do that. I've done many with standard. Most of them I do with standard, and they feel great. But if you want the best performance, then go with the swift spring. You'll see that option on my website. But these cars right here are fantastic. One of the best cars Mercedes ever built when it comes to looks, when it comes to handling and performance. And you don't have to have a 5.5 or a 6.3 or a 550. The 500 is a great car to own. So you're starting to see these on the market for cheap, very cheap, because either the top doesn't work, usually it's a cylinder that's leaking, or the pump in the trunk, or you have suspension failure. And when the suspension fails, you go to Mercedes, they're going to tell you anywhere between $2,500 to $10,000 to fix it. It's just what it is. And most owners of these cars don't want to invest that kind of money into their SLs. These cars are great, but when they fail, they're not so great. I provide the ultimate solution, a permanent solution. Remove all this ABC stuff. Remove the ABC pump. Install a standard power steering pump. Get that ABC cumbersome, extra heavy dual pump, which is called a tandem pump. Get that pump out of here. You don't need it. Only thing you want to do is have your your steering, your rack and pinion pressurized so that you have power steering, right? You want good, reliable steering. Once you remove the ABC, you no longer need the tandem pump. It's just, you don't need it. Now, some people keep it in there because, well, it's less work. It's a lot of work to remove that. It's probably 6-7 hours to remove that is what they say. I can remove it in 2 hours. But that pump is hard to remove. And then you have to install the standard power steering pump. A lot of people don't want to do that work. They don't want to pay the shop to remove that ABC pump. And so they just say, huh, if the pump is functional, if your power steering works, cool, leave it in there. You can recycle the fluid back to it. It doesn't matter. It's no longer pressurized on the ABC side because you're pulling the fuse. The fuse depressurizes the system, so to speak, so you have residual pressure. Not enough to blow lines, enough to leak out, the connections where you unplug the ABC struts. And so I have caps for that. You can just cap those lines. All 4 corners, just cap them. You can keep the ABC pump in there if you want to. Save a couple bucks. But when I do these ABC coilover suspension conversions, whatever, I always take that tandem pump out. It's too big. It's too heavy. Unnecessary weight. Over-engineered for just a simple power steering functionality. You don't need it. You want your rack and pinion to work. That's it. You want power steering. That's it. The car handles fantastic on coilovers. Know that. Trust me. Please believe me. It really does. It handles fantastic. You feel more in tune with the car. You feel the car. You can handle the car better. You can drive the car faster. Yeah, it is lighter once you remove all this stuff. But it just feels better. You see, ABC thinks for you. You lose control of the handling of the car. The car does it for you, which is great until it's not. But when you put coilovers, now you feel like you're really in a sports car. And it's as soft as you want it to be. Don't listen to the naysayers. They don't know. When properly installed and adjusted, it can be as soft as you want it to be or as firm as you want it to be. Some people add sway bars. That's cool. Add sway bars if you want to. That will stiffen it and give it predictive handling under the most extreme conditions. If the wheels come off the ground for any reason, right? If you're on a racetrack, that's cool. But I have Swift springs on mine, no sway bars, and I don't care about sway bars. I don't need them. I don't need them. Ask the engineers who have installed sway bars on their cars because they say they're engineers and it's the right thing to do, and ask them the difference. They notice a slight difference, but nothing phenomenal where you say, oh, I had to have these. No, not really. For everyday driving, no, not really. I'm not saying that I'm smarter or that Silver's Neomax, the designers of the coilovers, are smarter than Mercedes-Benz. I'm not saying that. All car manufacturers nowadays put sway bars in their cars and they serve a purpose. But guess what? Cars didn't always have sway bars. And this car is a very heavy and low vehicle, and the suspension does not travel that much once you add coilovers to it. You don't have the suspension travel as you did with ABC. So the car will only extend the lower control arm or cause droop so much. So the sway bars at some point are not as important when you lose that suspension travel when you go with coilovers. It is a difference, okay? Just don't go airborne with the car. You'll never feel the need for sway bars. Now, if you're on dampening definitely compensates for it. But if you're on the track and you want the ultimate performance, sure, sway bars, cool. For everyday driving, nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's a very good option, guys. Trust and believe. If you know anyone who's done Silver's Neomax, ask them, and they'll tell you. They'll vouch for you. They'll vouch for me. They'll vouch for Silver's. They'll vouch for the many people who have done the conversion, who trust it. If you've never done a conversion, never had it properly done, and if you don't understand the system, then don't really comment on it. Make sure that you're knowledgeable about what you say before you say it. You can theorize all day. You can speculate all day, but it holds no weight, no real value unless you know. Otherwise, it's just an opinion. But when I tell you something, it's fact because I have done it over and 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 over again. I'm not always right. I make mistakes. I learn along the way. That's how I get better. I'm humble enough to admit that I don't know everything, but I'm trying to. I'm trying to learn. I read the forums. I talk to the customers, the clients, the people who have it done. I talk to the company. I talk to other engineers. Engineers have informed me about a lot of the things that I say. They say the best way to gain knowledge or wisdom is through experience. And that's true sometimes. But also, a good way of gaining wisdom and understanding is by listening to those who have wisdom and understanding. Now, I'm not trying to inflate or boost my ego or anything like that. I'm not trying to be cocky or arrogant, but I'm just simply stating that experience in my case is the best teacher. That's how I learn. And so I'm willing to explain this stuff to you guys because I want you guys to know that your SL does not have to stay in the garage undrivable, in the driveway, leaking out all over the place, or at the shop as you're trying to figure out, should you invest that kind of money into a suspension repair? I'm telling you, there's just options. There are options. So please consider it. It's not for everybody. It's not. ABC suspension is phenomenal when it's working properly. But just know that you have options. It's good to know that you have options. If you have any questions or concerns, please give me a call or text message me. My business line, area code 513-967-8079. I don't know. I mean, do I make money selling these coilovers? Yes. Do I make money doing these coilover jobs? Yes. But guess what? I share this information for free. I put it out there before I made a dime. I did it because I did it myself. I have coilovers on that. I have coilovers on my SL500 behind the G-Wagon back there. You see, I've done this over and over again. Other Mercedes vehicles that I've had, I've done coilovers on them. I've done different brands. I've gained the experience. I've helped countless amount of people. And so I'm sharing this information to you all for free. It's free to click on my YouTube channel. I'm not charging you guys to watch my YouTube channel. Just take a gander. Take a look. Stroll through my channel. See if it's something that you can benefit from. And if you appreciate it, cool. Reach out to me. Let me know that. Thank you so much. Even if you want to donate towards my cause. The effort that I put forth in making these videos and editing them and making sure that you all have the accurate information, you can do that. I have a Cash App. I have a Zelle. I have a PayPal. There's a way on my website to donate, so to speak, or to, help a brother out. But at the end of the day, the reason why I do this is because of my love for these Mercedes, and I want everybody to really enjoy them. There's a lot of modern cars out there, and the commercials make you feel like, oh, if you don't have the latest and greatest, then you're behind. No, you're not. You're ahead when you realize that these Mercedes are worth saving and keeping on the road. You don't have to buy a new car to impress somebody. These cars right here are so satisfying. To jump in one of those newer cars that's out there, well, not only is it expensive, but oftentimes it leaves you wanting more. Nothing feels better than not spending as much money, but getting more, getting performance, getting true engineering and quality. The materials that go into these cars, wow, I can only say wow. They made older Mercedes so much better than they make newer Mercedes. Not technology-wise. And guess what? That's upgradable. You can change a lot of stuff to make it more techie or savvy, whatever. Technologically savvy, I guess. Technologically upgraded or up-to-date, whatever you want to say, whatever. That's just electronics, right? But when it comes to reliability in their engineering and their designs and the materials that they use, Mercedes is, I'm telling you, years ahead of the game. So even though these cars are early 2000s, they're just as good, if not better, than most modern cars when it comes to design, quality, and engineering. See, back then, in the early 2000s, they were still able to put a lot of money. They dumped a lot of money into their quality and into their designs. Nowadays, because of the competition, the level of competition, Mercedes has cut back in their designs. They use less wood. They use cheaper materials, more plastic. A lot of newer Mercedes people complain about the creaking and whatnot. Things that used to be leather, like the dashboards, the door panels, the armrest, the seats. Yeah, Mercedes has gone cheap. Vinyl, yes, on some Cadillac type stuff. They've cut costs severely. The money that they put into these Mercedes back then in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, they don't do that anymore. They don't put that kind of money into their cars anymore. They can't because they wouldn't be competitive. It's all about that. The bottom line, the dollar, profit. Well, back then, life was good. Mercedes spent a lot of money on their cars. They didn't mind going the extra mile and incorporating better quality materials into their designs. Now, this is a newer Mercedes. It is an S-Class, not as cheaply built as maybe a C-Class or E-Class. When I spend money, I want to make sure that I'm getting my money's worth. I don't want anything cheap. And so the fact of the matter is, going backwards sometimes is going forward. Making sure that you're satisfied with your purchase. Making sure that you're happy with your purchase. You're happy, not your neighbors, not the guys at work, the people that you work with, not your friends and family. You. At the end of the day, you have to be happy. And so I'm making a full circle here. All this rambling and discussion about choices and decisions and quality leads back to coilovers. Do what's best for you. In my case, I want reliability. I want the quality. That's why I'm buying a Mercedes, but I want the reliability as well. I don't want a high-tech suspension system that's sitting on the side of the road getting towed away while a Honda Civic is going past me, a Corolla is going past, a Camry is going past me, a Dodge Magnum is going past me, Magnum, Charger, whatever, and my beautiful Mercedes that I am so proud of can't even drive down the road, has to be towed to a shop because of the suspension. How silly is that? Give me a car that I can drive that's reliable and I'm happy. Now, if you like the ABC suspension, keep it, maintain it as long as you can. But if you want reliability and no more failure of the most basic component of a vehicle, which is the suspension, please consider, I can't even say it. I just got tongue-tied. I got emotional, baby. I got emotional. Oh my God. Please consider Silver's Neomax for your SL. Please consider Yellow Speed Racing for your CL. And the many other Mercedes vehicles that Silver's makes, and also Yellow Speed Racing. I do offer BC Racing. The spring rate is not as good as Silver's or Yellow Speed, but they are another good company. They are also on my website. BC Racing, Silver's Neomax, Yellow Speed Racing. Please consider it. Please consider it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. All right? Thank you. So, of course, as usual, I have the ABC pump removed and I have the standard power steering pump installed. I've gone through that procedure many times before. Look at my previous videos if you want to see how I did it. Now, I did come across an issue when removing, where'd it go? Here we go. This idler pulley right here, this is the top pulley that goes right here. It's held in with one bolt. It broke apart. As soon as I removed the belt, then it separated. So it was already broke because removing the belt, there's not enough tension on there to cause this to happen. It was already broken and the ribbed design was probably keeping it intact. Who knows if there was some type of noise, because I wasn't really looking for that when I was driving it. Maybe I did hear something, maybe I didn't. I wasn't really paying too much attention to that, but that would cause some squeaking and some squealing. So yeah, that's broken. So I already ordered another one. This is the bolt that keeps it in place. That's a just wear and tear component. Over time, idler pulleys, they do break. It's just plastic. And with all the heat and everything, expansion, contraction, whatever, of plastic with heat and cold, it eventually does it. Plastic always becomes brittle. That's why they design ABS plastic. It's more, I don't know, petroleum or whatever. And the composition of it where it's more durable, flexible, and it lasts longer. But over time, some plastics just wear and tear with a lot of tension and friction with that pulley on there. It's just prone to happen. Anything that's plastic with that belt eventually will go. And also, the pulley, the tensioner pulley down there, that's another thing, wear and tear issue. But that is not a problem on this vehicle. But just thinking about pulleys, that one over time can also go. It happens on all the V8 Mercedes of these years. The tensioner pulley and the idler pulley over time just need to be replaced. Usually it's a spring on the idler pulley that wears and tears and goes. And you'll know that when the belt either starts to grab and there's a resistance and it starts to prematurely wear and the belt starts to tear, or you'll hear that high-pitched noise. All right, just a little tip right there. But anyways, so the ABC pump is removed. The standard power steering pump is in place, but I cannot attach the belt yet until I replace the idler pulley. Now I use, again, the same reservoir, power steering reservoir. And I use a synthetic European blend fluid. And in particular, I like this one. Prestone full synthetic European power steering. That's the one that I use. But any Mercedes full synthetic, all of the Mercedes power steering fluid is full synthetic. That works. Also, Pitocin, let me see. Whatever. This right here, you can use that too. That is a high performance European power steering essential hydraulic fluid. It's also synthetic. So you can do that, just whatever you use, make sure it's compatible with the vehicle, with Mercedes vehicles. All right, so that's done. Now I have to go down here and start removing this stuff. The front valve block, I pull all that out. I'll pull out, of course, the strut. And then this one right here, I'll pull out. And then the lines that run from the front to the rear, and then the rear valve block, I'll pull that out. So let me get back to work. Okay, so the SL500 is now complete regarding the ABC. There is still some things that I have to put together, some parts that were sitting out. Like the inner wheel lining on the driver's side front. I knew it was missing when I was in there removing parts. Just didn't know it was in the trunk. So the owner had these parts in the trunk. And if you look earlier in the video, you can see that there is some interior parts that were removed. Obviously, there were some repairs or something that was done internally. So a lot of parts and panels have been removed. So I've agreed to reassemble this stuff. Now that right there might be broken. I don't know. There's tape on it. So it might be beyond my repair or simple assembly. It might need to be some repair work done there. I'm not sure. But I agreed to pop these things back in place. If I go too deep and have to do some actual repair work, then I'll have to charge the client. But as of right now, I'm just going to pop back in what wasn't popped in. I already popped back in the center shifter knob leather cover that was disassembled. This headlight right here is yellow. I might go over that with some compound, just brighten that up for him. We'll see if I have time, but if I have time, I've had this car for like over a week, so of course I have time. Just got to see if I feel like pulling out the tools to do that. But anyways, this car was shipped to me so that I can do the coilovers, remove all the ABC stuff, which I did. Now, of course, that's 8 struts right there. I removed 4. I had some previous struts from AMG struts that I had to pull out. And behind the bicycle is a whole bunch of ABC parts. You can see that on the floor as well. Multiple vehicle parts here. This Tupperware tub is full of parts. It's kind of messy. I need to reorganize and re-strategize my garage a little bit. I'm tired, y'all. This is a lot of work. Remember, I do these coilover jobs all by myself. I don't have any help, any assistance. The only time I get an outside third party involved is when it comes to the 07 through 2011 SL500 or 63s regarding the ABC modules, having to get ABC removed from the module so that the ABC light goes out. The earlier models, 02 through 06, you can simply remove the driver's side engine compartment ABC fuse. And the red light goes out, but the white light remains. If you want to remove everything, you have to do it with a Mercedes Star system if you want to remove it from the modules. All right, so let me get back to work. Let me go ahead and start reassembling this stuff and then clean this car up and get it ready to get picked up. Okay, so let's go for a ride. I had the front set at 20 and the rear set at 15. I have everything reassembled. Let's see how this baby rides. Safety first. Let's go. Alright, what's going on? Alright, the trunk. Let's shut the trunk. Here we go. Hold on. So let's first off put some gas in this joint. Now it came with the gas light on. We'll go ahead and throw a couple dollars in there so I can test drive it, so that when it gets sent back, it's not empty. You can at least have enough gas to come off the trailer. Oh, he's actually driving this home. That's right, I forgot. So yeah, he is flying in from Virginia to here, Cincinnati, Ohio. And he's driving the car home. So he's gonna get the ultimate driving experience. Feels good, nice, soft enough, I like it. Firm enough. I make sure that when he comes and picks it up, I'll instruct him, show him how to firm up the suspension if he doesn't like how soft it is, or if he wants it softer, which I doubt. I think it's perfect right now, but he'll determine that when he drives it. Put some gas in and then pause. Okay, so I ran into a little problem. I couldn't open this door. Now right now it's opening, but it was not opening. It was stuck closed. So I had to figure out how to get it to pop open. Typically the pneumatic system should open it when you unlock the doors. So it didn't. So I had to pull this carpet back here. I had to go in the trunk, of course. I had to pull this carpet back, which gave me access to where this lid is located, the actuator, right, that pops the door. And so this is it right here. So what I had to do is that metal pin that you see, that right there, that has to pull out. I didn't have any pliers with me to pull that out. So fortunately, this tool right here was inside the car. So that tool right there I used, I wedged it right there with a fork, and I pulled back and it opened it up. Now it took the lock off. Basically, that's the lock that prevents it from opening up. That should push in when you lock the car and pull out when you unlock the car. So because that didn't happen, I had to manually pull it out. And that's how you do it. Use pliers or whatever you have at your disposal to pull that out. So that's why I say you should have a set of tools in your car at all times, even if it's like a Leatherman little multi-tool. Have something like that with some pliers, so that in this case you can just grab it and pull it out. So that's how you open your gas lid if it's stuck. Like I said, that's associated with your pneumatic system, the interlocking system. So for whatever reason, the air is not actuating that solenoid or whatever. So if that's the case, that's how you manually pop it open. So I went on ahead and added some gas to this car with $16.29 of premium. That's 93 octane, 3.653 gallons. So now I feel safe driving the car around. All right, there you go. All right, so now we're good to go. SRS light is on, don't know why. Oh my gosh, the hood, forgot about that. Dang. Yeah. All right, so I did go up there and shut the hood. Now, when you release this lever right here, for whatever reason, that lever right there is not pulling back on its own. So when I was trying to shut the hood, it wouldn't catch. So I realized that that right there was still sticking out and had not pulled itself back in. It should do that when you try to close it, but for whatever reason, there's just some things going on with these cables. It's stiff. The car just needs to be used more. Now that the ABC suspension is repaired, this car can get put back on the road and driven the way it was supposed to be driven. It was meant to be driven, you know? That's what you deal with when cars sit or they need a major repair, like the suspension, and they're not used. You know, the cars are not used. They sit too long, and like little things like that just start to, you know, go wrong with it. But I'm sure this owner will be more than pleased to get this car back home to Virginia. And he's going to detail it, clean it up, fix whatever needs to be repaired beyond the suspension, of course. Like maybe this SRS light, figure out why that's on. Maybe that's something to do with the seat belts, the buckles, or where they snap in. Sometimes the sensor inside of that goes bad. Sometimes it's the seat sensor. The part that you sit down on of the seat, there's sensors in there that tells the car that there is another occupant, so it knows what airbags to deploy upon accident. So that can also activate an SRS light if any of those sensors go out. So those are common causes, is where the seat belt snaps in or buckles in. That button itself inside of there is a sensor, or like I said, it could be the bottom portion of the seat where the sensor is, the weight sensing sensor. All right, so yeah, this thing drives nice and smooth and soft. I like it. It's very comfortable. I think the owner would be pleased. Again, that's 20 in the front, 15 in the back. I'm referring to the dampening settings. Height-wise, it's equal all the way around. You probably got about an inch clearance. If you watch my previous videos on how to adjust the coilovers before installation, because when I first used to do it, I used to adjust them after I installed them. I would have them shorter and then lengthen them to the appropriate length after installation. Well, that's the hard part. That's the hard way of doing it. Now you just pre-measure it and then install it, and it's a lot easier that way. In this case, I did not even have to go back in and make any adjustments. It's sitting just the way it's supposed to sit. So the car feels solid and well planted. I'm more than happy with the results, and I'm sure he'll be as well. I was about to say the acceleration doesn't feel very punchy, and I was assuming that maybe it's on W instead of S, which it is. So let's put that on S. Sport is what I refer to when it comes to the S. I'm talking about this, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but right there where you have the S function, where you have the W function, it's right here. I always put it on S, of course. W, I consider that winner. It slows down your initial takeoff acceleration. It starts it off, I believe, in second gear instead of first, and so it's less punchy, and it's a softer, smoother ride when you have adverse conditions like rain or snow. You don't want to drive this thing with full throttle or what would you call it? Torque, I guess. All right, so yeah, it feels good. It feels good. All right, here it goes. Beautiful. I have it cleaned up. Looking real nice. This is a pretty car. It just needed a little bit of gold element Autoworks love, you know? SL500 ABC active body control is gone. Adjustable coilovers, Silver's Neomax adjustable coilovers are now installed. Never again do you have to worry about ABC failure. You can take this bad boy out of town, take it across the country. The suspension you do not have to worry about anymore. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, yeah, much better responsive wise. Putting it on S instead of W definitely allows it to shift through those gears faster. Less delay in shifting, as well as a more responsive driving experience. Look, they got this thing looking like a real bootleg Rolls Royce. Well, I tell you, I hate a Chrysler 300. You know why? Because people who drive Chrysler 300s, they really think they're driving something special. It ain't. It's just a Chrysler, aka Dodge. My bad, y'all. I'm a hater when it comes to Chrysler and Dodge. I really am. And I know what you guys are going to say. Well, didn't they have some type of affiliation with Mercedes, Daimler, Chrysler? Listen, that was a long time ago. Ain't got nothing to do with today. And Mercedes maintained their quality. It is a far cry to say that Dodge or Chrysler is anything relatively close to Mercedes when it comes to design and craftsmanship and engineering and quality. It's like the cousin of the cousin, you know what I'm saying? It ain't the same. It definitely has some mergers and affiliations and some joint ventures when it came to design back in the day, but there are a couple components, but not enough where it affects the overall quality of Mercedes. Mercedes still stands alone. They just happen to be cool with Chrysler. I'm just talking stupid. Anyways, so yeah, I love this car, man. The SL500 definitely is a jewel to own. It doesn't matter if you have a 500, a 556, 365, whatever. I don't know, 550. All of these SLs are incredible cars. Yep, incredible cars to own, incredible cars to drive. And so this one is adjusted very nicely. I do have it on the softer side in the rear at 15. Sometimes I do a 21 in the front, 17 in the back. Depends on how sporty and how hard you want it to be, how aggressive you drive it. If you're just driving for comfort, cruising, I think a softer setting is probably better. So always make sure the front is stiff. You can go as high as 24. I think 20 is a good, balance, and then in the rear, 15 is a nice soft ride. It feels good. Feels real good. Most people that do the coilover jobs say that the car feels better, lighter, more responsive once you remove ABC. I think it's really just a matter of you feeling the car more, less holding it back, you being more in tune with the car and its handling, and you control what it does by your driving. You control how it feels. You can take corners differently. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. The comfort of it is still present. It's still there. It's still comfortable. It's not hard and harsh like a lot of people predict, or people who have had it done incorrectly. This is the correct way to do it, guys. This is the correct way to do it. Silver's Neomax adjustable coilovers. Trust me. Trust me. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, here goes your key. Say your name and where you're from.
Hey, I'm Richard Dane, and I am from Richmond, Virginia, 550 miles from Brandon's shop.
Ooh-wee.
Brought my car down here to get the coilovers changed out, and right now I'm very, very excited. I had a friend, my best friend in the world, came down 3 months ago and did it. That's how I found Brandon, and I'm really looking forward to it. Nobody between Washington, D.C. and Cincinnati, Ohio could do this. We found a guy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your business. And please stay in touch. Let me know if you have any questions, any concerns, or whatever. I'm here for you all the time. Call me, text me, whatever. And also, you know where I stay. So if you're ever in the neighborhood again, Cincinnati, Ohio, check me out.
Good to meet you finally.
Great to meet you,
Take
man.
care.
Thank you so much. Please let me know when you get back safe.
I will. I'll text you, Brandon.
Let me know how it rides too, how you feel.